Okay, so this is I'll talk about why does suicide occur, and in lots of ways, what are preventions from suicide? I'm gonna look a little bit here. As you can see here, the global trend from 1950 to 2020, men are mainly the one who commit most suicide, and women, I think they have more suicide attempts, but they are less likely to do suicide than men. Um, so this can also be due to cultural differences, but like for example, I think that can be like in decline in terms of cultural differences or understanding. Like for example, if you think about, for example, let's say you are giving into despair, you probably are gonna be likely to have those thoughts. Like, I think the Never-Ending Story book and movie is a good example of that. Book mostly because I think it's better explained than the movie. But in that book or movie, there's a certain elements of despair that people give into, and when they act on that despair, they decide to, they die. Basically, that's the point of the story. And we can look at the stats of countries that commit less suicide. And this is sort of a cultural religious reason. So you can see that Muslims commit less suicide, Hindu commits a little bit more after that, Christians are at the third place, Buddhists on the fourth, and atheists commit more suicides. And I guess because I've read like the hadiths and such, so like Islamic ones, basically that one you usually have like sort of those scare stories. Like if you kill yourself, then you're gonna do that in the afterlife. Like let's say you stab yourself with a knife, then you're gonna do it for eternity. And I guess having some scare tactics is a good prevention from suicide, basically. So that's one way of suicide. But let's see here. Prevention of suicide. Global figures and statistics are very suitable for giving a broad view of a problem, raising awareness about it, and providing a means of comparison with other problems. However, they hide important regional and local characteristics and cannot replace a sound local system of monitoring suicide trends, including socio-demographic, psychiatric, and psychological variables. It is nevertheless hoped that the information provided here can raise awareness and evoke interest with regards to the serious public health and community burden represented by suicide. So basically, I'm gonna take an example there, and I'm not gonna say this is 100% fact, but if you look at the trend here, why does the suicide keep raising up? I mean, this is not true in every place. It's like I can look at let's see here. Um, see. Uh, okay, United States is up, but let's see. I think Netherlands has something. Let's see. Sorry, forget about that. Let's see. Netherlands. I don't think I have that. No. Okay, so sorry, I can't find it. But let's go back to this thing I read here. Okay, so I can't find it, but point is, suicide rate isn't increasing in every place of countries. I think Netherlands has actually decreased, and places like this. But somehow Norway is higher up actually. I can show you because I'm actually from Norway. I don't know. There you go. Like 2020 is still up. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. But that's the thing is the psychological aspect. I think it's really the element of despair. Like if you are having like elements of despair, I think it's actually easier to, okay, what's my point in life? Why should I exist? And that's more like that why you kill yourself basically. So giving into despair is one way. It Despair can be different actions. Like it can be extremism. Like let's say you're full of hate and you just give up on life and you kill yourself. Like that's one thing. Like for example, like that. But you can also argue whether it's a where it's kind of like where the culture is declining. Like they say, homosexuality, like it's more acceptable now than ever before in the West, at least. but that also kind of declines in terms of heterosexual marriage. Like if you think about like people who may want to get married or have values for the family and stuff such and sexual diseases increases the more partners you have and such. So that can kind of add toll of despair on the value aspect of a society because you have come this different ideas and this also goes into the tolerance aspect of society, because you obviously want to try to make life better for everyone, but obviously because something get pushed back, then you feel like well, I'm not represented. I might as well kill myself. And I don't know. I'm just trying to think here of that. Maybe some part of it. It's sort of like it's mainly because I think its main reason for suicide is the element of despair. If you give in to despair, then you might most likely going to kill yourself, and that's really the thing. So yeah, and whether there's a crime, I know, but authoritarian countries too. Like, I mean, there probably is some public execution to prevent such a thing. But I'm just trying to think in terms of the anti-French revolutionary mentality of whether it's a theocracy or autocracy type of government. Like, I think I read where most suicide is. Let's see here. I think I mentioned something here. Um, let's see here. Here it is. As indicated earlier, the highest suicide rates are currently reported in Eastern Europe. However, the largest numbers of suicide are found in Asia. So basically, those are the highest suicide, but it's mainly in Europe and then Asia, I think, where the most suicide rates seem to be, at least according to this statistics. If you wonder where I read it from, I think it's from University of Oslo. I'm gonna link it in the description below if you wonder. But yeah, I think it's sort of like a cultural reasons. I think the more united you are about something, the less likely you are going to kill yourself, and I think that's the reason why people kill themselves when they don't feel like they belong. Basically, I think that's it's sort of like acting on despair and feeling like you don't have any belonging. So what's the point of a life? So it's basically the despairing mentality that makes one kill themselves. I think that's in lots of ways, I think that's kind of why it happens, basically. So yeah, that's all I want to say, really. I'm gonna link where I found my source in the description below. So thank you for listening, and bye.